From the moment she walked into the five-star restaurant, Amelia felt the world tilt against her. Her shoes were worn, her dress was borrowed, and her trembling hands clutched a cheap handbag that didn't belong among the glimmering chandeliers and crystal glasses. She hadn't meant to be here. In fact, it wasn't supposed to be her at all. But when her beautiful older sister refused to attend the blind date arranged by their family, Amelia was pushed forward as the substitute, the unwanted replacement. She stood at the entrance, her heart thundering like a trapped bird, knowing she didn't belong in this glittering world. Yet what she didn't know was that the man waiting for her, the powerful single dad CEO everyone whispered about, wouldn't let her walk away so easily. Before I take you further into this deeply emotional journey of love, sacrifice, and second chances, I want to pause and ask you something from the bottom of my heart. If you believe in kindness, in the magic of love finding you when you least expect it, and in the beauty of second chances, then please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Royal Stories, and share it with someone who loves heartfelt tales. Your support helps us keep telling stories that remind us of the goodness that still exists in the world. Amelia wanted to disappear. Every step she took inside the restaurant felt like trespassing into someone else's life. She knew her sister, Isabel, was the one men admired, the one chosen for blind dates with wealthy heirs and successful CEOs. Amelia, in comparison, was the quiet one, always covered in paint stains from her part-time art classes, the one who worked late at diners to help cover bills. Her family never looked at her with pride, only with expectation, that she should carry burdens but never shine. Tonight, when Isabel had tossed aside the blind date like it was nothing, Amelia had been forced to go instead. Just sit there, pretend to be me, and leave quickly, her sister had said with a careless shrug. But now, as she scanned the room for her date, Amelia wished she had refused. At the corner table sat a man who seemed carved out of strength and sorrow at once. He was tall, dressed sharply in a suit that spoke of silent authority, his presence dominating even though he wasn't speaking. His eyes, however, drew Amelia in. They weren't cold like she expected, but rather heavy, like they carried storms behind their calmness. This was Ethan Carter, the young CEO known for building an empire after a devastating personal tragedy. Rumor had it he was a single father, his wife gone too soon, leaving him to raise his little daughter while balancing a billion-dollar empire. Amelia froze under his gaze. She had meant to sit, smile politely, and then leave quietly. But when she finally tried to stammer out that there had been a mistake, he didn't let her go. The meal stretched into something Amelia hadn't expected. She answered questions she thought he would laugh at, but he didn't. She admitted her love for painting even though she could never afford proper supplies. She spoke about working late nights, about her fear of never being enough. Each word spilled out because Ethan's quiet attention made her feel like, for the first time, someone was truly listening. When she tried to leave, embarrassed at her confessions, his voice stopped her softly but firmly, telling her he wasn't finished with their evening. For reasons Amelia couldn't understand, he wanted her to stay. As days passed, Ethan found reasons to see her again. He began inviting her for coffee, then asking her to help with little tasks at his office, and one day, most shockingly, he asked if she would meet his daughter, Lily. That moment changed everything. Lily was a shy, bright-eyed little girl with golden curls who clung to her father yet hid behind books and toys. When Amelia knelt beside her, offering a smile and a story about colors, Lily's small hand slipped into hers. Something unspoken bloomed in that moment, a connection Amelia hadn't expected but couldn't deny. Still, Amelia's life wasn't a fairy tale. She battled guilt for pretending to be her sister, shame for being poor in a world of wealth, and fear that Ethan's interest was temporary. Her family wasn't supportive either. Isabel mocked her for thinking someone like Ethan would ever truly care for her. Amelia almost believed her, but Ethan's consistent kindness, his patience, and the way Lily laughed freely only when Amelia was near made it harder and harder for her to walk away. One night, after a gala where Amelia arrived in a simple dress while surrounded by glittering women in diamonds, she fled outside in tears. The weight of feeling unworthy crushed her. Ethan followed, and under the stars he told her truths she never thought she'd hear. He confessed how broken he had been after his wife's death, how he had locked his heart away until Amelia's quiet strength brought warmth into his world again. "You think you don't belong," he said, his voice trembling, "but Amelia, it's you who made me feel alive again. You made my daughter smile again. I don't want the perfect image of a woman, I want you." Amelia wept in his arms, her fears clashing with the undeniable truth of his words. For the first time in her life, she felt chosen, not as a replacement, not as a burden, but as herself. Their journey wasn't easy. There were whispers, judgments, even confrontations with Isabel, who tried to claim Ethan's attention back once she realized what she had lost. But Ethan stood firm, protecting Amelia and showing the world that his choice was unwavering. Slowly, Amelia began to believe she was worthy of love, that her kindness, resilience, and honesty were far more valuable than wealth or appearances. In the end, what began as a blind date meant for someone else turned into the story of two broken souls healing together. Amelia found her place not in riches or reputation, but in the warmth of Ethan's arms and the giggles of a little girl who began to call her, Mommy. She realized that sometimes, life pushes us into rooms where we feel we don't belong, only to reveal that perhaps we were meant to be there all along. And now, dear friends, if this story has touched your heart the way it has touched mine while writing it, I gently ask you to take a moment, like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Royal Stories so we can continue to bring you tales that stir the soul and remind us that love still exists in the unlikeliest places. Special request. Before you go, please comment below, tell us, do you believe true love finds us when we least expect it? Your words inspire us and our entire community.